Welcome back to radforlife.com, the home of the RAD SEL lessons. This is lesson 6, Roadblocks. Let's start with a reminder what RAD is all about, helping you do the things that matter the most to you in your life. I say do because RAD is all about doing. It's about making RAD moves and living your life in a way that aligns with your values. To do this, we need to use the RAD skills we've learned so far, recognizing thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, labeling them as comfortable or uncomfortable, and learning to accept them. Of course, even if we're a master of all things RAD, it's impossible to only do RAD moves. In fact, it's normal and part of being human to make not RAD moves. In our lives, there are many challenges that make it hard to do RAD moves. In RAD, we call these roadblocks, things that stop us from moving toward our values. Now, I really like this term roadblocks for two reasons. First, I needed a word that fit with my RAD theme, so why not just add an O? Second, I wanted to really show that in life there are things that just get in the way and that prevent us from moving forward and following our values. I don't know about you, but I live in a place with bad traffic. I frequently encounter roadblocks, construction, fender benders, congestion. In life, we face similar roadblocks. However, they aren't construction and congestion. Rather, these roadblocks are the uncomfortable thoughts and feelings that get in the way of doing what's important. In RAD, roadblocks are not random events like forgetting to set your alarm. Instead, we're focusing on thoughts like, I'm going to fail or I'm not good enough, and feelings like worry and fear. In RAD, this is what we mean by roadblocks. Let me clarify with an example. Let's say you value being a good friend. You remember it's a friend's birthday, but you haven't talked to them in a long time. Still, you want to send a message. If your phone was broken, that's not a roadblock. That's just bad timing or bad luck. However, if you don't text because of thoughts like, we're not close anymore, and feelings of worry, those are roadblocks. Your own thoughts and feelings blocking a RAD move. Here's another example. You value learning and responsibility. You have a big school assignment due, but your pet ate it. Again, that's not a roadblock, just a naughty pet. But if you avoid the work because you think, I'm gonna fail, or this is too hard, that's a roadblock. Remember this image? Our hero values helping others, so helping would be a RAD move. But anger or frustration could become roadblocks. In this example, we can see how sometimes roadblocks lead to not RAD moves, actions out of line with who we want to be, actions that at times might even be hurtful to ourselves or others. One last example. Imagine someone trying out for a sports team. They value teamwork and challenge, but they have thoughts like, am I good enough? What if I fail? And feelings of nervousness and worry. A RAD move would be going to the tryout or even practicing on their own, but quitting the sport because of those thoughts and feelings, that's a roadblock leading to a not RAD move. One thing I want to stress, encountering roadblocks, getting stuck, and making not RAD moves is part of life. But don't worry, everything we've learned so far in the RAD lessons is going to help us face them. Plus, in the upcoming lessons, we'll learn specific strategies to respond to roadblocks so we can keep doing what matters most to us and making RAD moves. For now, you may want to reflect on some of the roadblocks you've experienced in your life, how they've gotten in the way of you following your values, and what you've done about them. So that's it for lesson 6, and remember, until next time, be RAD.